So I've had what I thought was some big Heroquest news to myself anyway, this recently. And it's nothing to do with Heroquest Day coming out, or when Rise of the Dread Moon got released, which was the first new expansion for about 30 years, because I still don't have my copy. And it's not the fact that someone has discovered a Hebrew version of Heroquest, or that I've now seen the Brazilian version came with expansions. No, it is this. I finally, after 2 years, got around to scripting out and starting to record my how to play videos for Advanced Heroquest, which is good news for me because it means now I can start to do more videos in the series, and this will probably come out very soon, hopefully. Anyway, in the meantime, this is what I'm doing now. Taking a look at the Heroquest game system, which is the US version of the original Heroquest. And I've got it in the UK, and you don't often get them over here, which is probably explains why this box is so tatty and damaged. But anyway, let's have a look at what's inside the box. So no insert for me, instead I've got a one-stop carrier bag. Inside here we're going to find all of the contents, furniture, miniatures, dice, you name it, tokens, all the stuff for playing Heroquest. Everything in here is basically the same as in the other versions, in the UK versions and so on. Complete with all your minis being destroyed and battered and bent and so on. The Barbarian still has his sword, quite nice, but it's not as straight as it could be. Well, I look at all my furniture on the stands. This is a little bit different for UK owners because they didn't all come with stands. But there'll be a follow-up video describing the difference between the UK and US versions, and you'll get a look more at them there. And then just the other thing that doesn't normally come with the box is an envelope. Inside the envelope we have all the cards. And as you can see, none of these have borders, and they've got all the extra cards that don't normally come in the UK version as well. And so here we have all of our treasures we can find, which will be interesting to compare these not just to the UK versions, but obviously the two UK versions, as we saw in the previous video. Do not return this to the deck, return it to the bottom of the deck. So in fact, even these are different between the UK and the US. Whoops, we've got our spells here, flicking through all of them. All the card art looks the same anyway. Ring of Return, Wizard's Cloak, instantly see 2 new artifacts because I've never even seen them before. All the general artifacts. Moving on, Chaos Spells was that? Yeah. Again, something they added in the US version as standard, which doesn't come in the UK version. And then the monster cards, which you can still differentiate, because again, they seem to have printed the colour on the front of the monster card and the black and white on the back. Reverse printing just like they did in the UK version. And the other important point, these monsters actually have multiple body points. Obviously we did not in the UK version. That's all of the cards. Here we have our quest book. This has come in a nice landscape rather than portrait mode. And then we can just flick through. Straight away we start off with the trial. And just go through. Again, just comparing with the UK version, you can see that everything's like colour coded here, whereas in the UK book everything was similar colours. And a nice design your own quest at the end, and all the monster information. Here we have our instruction book, and flick through, and this is definitely going to have a lot of differences from when I played my UK one. And I'll definitely have to revise all of this. Come on, next, I'll come back to that, but we have our character sheets here. Nice and simple. Here we've got our 4 character cards, Barbarian, Dwarf, Wizard and the Elf. And on the back they've got nice references for what you can do. Here's the armoury bit that sits inside the box. So if it's folded out correctly, it should just... There we go. Have a full stand up. and it gives you all your guide and then gives you everything you can get out your armory. Here we have the Games Master Shield. Same art on the back, but different on the front, as they've got a lot more stuff to include, such as all your monster details, which is a better reference than having to go to the cards all the time. And at the bottom we have the board. Not much need to get this out. This is basically the same board. And then just the bottom of the box. Enter the world. It's like no other game you've ever played. But quickly whizzing through everything that was in that bag of stuff, just in case you've not really seen it before. Here we have some bookcases, we've got some open doors. Rats and skulls, they were additional features. You could just slot in, decide how you wanted them in there. One bent candlestick, one destroyed candlestick, as is standard for most copies of the game, unless you're lucky to have them in pristine condition. Often, you're not. The game should come with 6 white dice and 2 red. They seem to have swapped the red dice for the purple dice when I got this, and many white dice, which is quite nice. Assuming they've just used it all for stuff. Secret door tokens, pit trap tokens, the staircase will be in here. We've got some blocked rubble tokens, and also what is unique as well is the skull tokens, which we can use to mark damage on the monsters. There we go, some blocked. And the skull tokens are double-sided, so skulls on one side, block tiles on the other. Even these tiles, you've got rubble there, and you've got a bit of wall there. Yeah, nice to have them all double-sided, saves for all the printing costs. So yeah, again, secret doors and pit traps are now double-sided. I guess it means they could fit more tokens on the same amount of board. Some closed doors you get. Here's a nice throne for your quest monsters to sit on or stand by, or whatever you want to do with it. Look at some of the more of the monsters. We have skeletons, mummies, zombies, the chaos warriors. Here we have a couple of treasure chests as well that heroes can find in the dungeons. We've got greenskin enemies here with the Famirs, the goblins and the orc. We've got some more furniture. Here we have a nice weapons rack. Again, one of these is slightly bent, but the rack is still the same rack as the original one. And with the fireplace card and the stand. We still have the included 3-piece gargoyle as standard with the separate head and separate wings, as well as we have a chaos sorcerer, and there's a few tables as well. And the final bits to look at, I guess, the alchemist bench, complete with the bottles as their miscellaneous plug-in, and they chose to give them a skull rather than a rat. There should be some scales somewhere, I haven't seen any, so maybe they've been lost, they're quite small, I'll have to investigate. And then we just have the 4 heroes as well. There we are. There we go, that was just a small video of what's in the Heroquest game system box. So basically everything you'd get if you had the US version of the original game, not the UK version. The next video though will have a lot more info in it because we'll go through it in a bit more detail and we'll compare the US version to the UK version from the previous video. So when we are looking at that, that's going to pop up on there, it should be the next video. If you want to continue the unboxing series, just go on the right there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, hope to catch you soon.